Hi guys! Today I want to talk about a bunch of books that I recently got that I'm really excited to read, and they also look pretty, so I'm happy to have them on my shelves. And yeah, let's go for it. The first one is, they're all in German by the way. Some of them are new, some of them are not, which, you know, works for me. The first one actually is Ein wirklich erstaunliches Ding by Hank Green. This is, as you may have guessed, since it's the only book she's currently got out, the German translation of An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. And I read it, and it was amazing. I actually, you know, noted some stuff inside, like I commented and marked stuff, which I only do when I'm actually convinced I'm gonna keep a book. And yeah, I'm gonna keep this, because it's so good. I'm very curious to see where it's going, because I need more. I was so upset when I finished it, and it was like, I thought this was gonna be like, you know, sort of satisfying to end. It was not. I was a bit, I wasn't upset, but I was very happy to see that like 2 days prior, Hank Green had posted a video about the follow-up to this book. So that had me appeased. And knowing I'm gonna read the continuation of the story soon is very nice, because I don't like being left hanging. So yeah, I like this, and it's really good. Also, I think the cover is really pretty. Like, I love the stark contrast and just the, you know, vibrant colors. I like it. I didn't tell you anything about this book, but I feel like it's very well known what the story is about. I feel like this book has been very well discussed. But basically it's a sci-fi story. It's first contact with aliens, and it's about fame and, yeah, just sort of speculative about how humans would react being contacted by an extraterrestrial force. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And it was really funny, and it was also really clever and very thought-provoking. And that's a combination of traits I really like in a book. So, I enjoyed it a whole lot. So the next one is Morgen kommt ein neuer Himmel by Laurie Nelson Spielman. The English title is The Life List. I've seen this before, and I was always like, huh, but now I have it, and I'm happy about it. And it's a contemporary adult. It's about, I think, sort of living your life and doing what makes you happy, I think is what I got from like what I've read about it, which is not much, but I'm excited to read it. The next book is Die Karte der zerbrochenen Träume by Jennifer Zainab Jukadar. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I don't know the English translation of this. I think it looks gorgeous. So it's about the conflict in Syria and a family that needs to flee to Europe. That in and of itself sounds like a really hard-hitting story that I would really like to read. It's also about sort of a fable, I believe. The regional lore, I suppose. I'm really not sure. I can just go off the blurb. It just sounds super interesting. I'm always interested in like non-Western stories, in non-Western cultures, and like stuff that, you know, you only learn about when you're living in a culture, like stories that people tell each other and tales that you get told. I don't know. I'm super interested in it because it's something I haven't ever read before. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. And the cover is so gorgeous. Like, how? Can't wait to read this. Also, it's really thick, and it sounds nice. The next book is Children of Blood and Bone, Goldener Zorn. I'm sorry. So this is the German book. Again, it's the German translation by Tommy Adeyemi. This is a YA fantasy story. Again, I think it takes place in a non-Western civilization, and it has magic in it, and the combination of those things sounds super exciting. I don't know much more than that. I'm just a sucker for good covers. It's amazing. The next book is Lola by Melissa Scrivener-Love. This story sounded really interesting. So it's about Latina in a Latinx gang. It's a thriller. I assume it's YA, but I don't know. I really don't know. It could be adult for all I know. It doesn't say like the age of the character, because that's often an indicator, right? So it doesn't say that, so I don't know. But it's also like the cover, again, beautiful color scheme. So yeah, also excited to read this book. Can you tell I have too many books I want to read? I'm not the only one with this problem, I know that, but still. The second to last book I got is Die Die Verheimatlichung der Welt. 5 Essays über Western und Migration by Heike Enter. I think this is a German book, and the literal translation of it would be Making the World Home. It's non-fiction, it's essays about migration, and I don't know if Western means Western as in the movie genre or Western civilization, but either way, it sounds really interesting. You know, I'm European, and as with this book, I feel like this one is also going to give me a really new perspective, because you hear about the refugee crisis and you hear about refugees, but you don't know what it's like. I think this is gonna really like give me a new perspective and help me understand a bit better what that's like, and hopefully regain some of the empathy I think you can lose over time when you get confronted with these stories over and over again. I'm really interested in reading these books and confronting that reality for myself. And the last book is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. It is her second novel after The Hate You Give, which is what I'm currently reading, and it's so good. And I think she tells very real stories, at least it feels real to me, and I think it also teaches me a lot about, you know, lives I've never lived, but that I want to know about to understand a bit better, and to, again, have empathy, because if you are confronted with the reality of a life that you really can't connect to because it's so different from what you've lived, then I feel like these stories can really help to let you grasp what this human experience is like of this specific person. Of course, it's a fictional story, but I don't think it's something that hasn't happened before. So again, very hard-hitting and very thought-provoking and interesting. And so I'm sure this book is going to be similar, because I think Angie Thomas is like really good at writing these stories that really touch you and you can really connect to, even though it's very different, and they can also teach you stuff and like let you get a glimpse into a life you don't know about. So I'm sure this is going to be amazing as well, and I can't wait to read it. Can I wait with any of these books? Am I going to read all of them at the same time? Maybe. Hopefully not, because that would be a mess. So those were all the books that I recently acquired, and yeah, I think they're amazing, and I'm really excited for all of them, and I hope you enjoyed this little haul. I'll let you guys know how I like them soon, hopefully. Other than that, I'm gonna see you guys soon. Bye!